Phillips is asking, in the light of today's Daily Express report that Bob Crone has said we have to quit the EU to protect British jobs, what efforts are being made by UKIP to woo the trade unions? And on a similar, or at least related tack, Robin Lambert asks what the party is doing to attract disaffected old Labour voters and people who don't usually vote. So, should we start with Nigel on that one?
Well, Bob Crow and I. Bob and I get on remarkably well. We've got this deal. He said, listen, Nigel, he said, I think really what we ought to do when you and I get together and have a drink is we only talk about issues that we agree on, otherwise you're not going to like it very much. So we've got this pact. And so whenever I'm with Bob Crow, whenever I meet him, and you know, whatever you think of his politics, I admire the man, because he actually is doing what he's doing because he believes in it. It isn't that rare in public life today. But Bob and I agree 100% on the European Union. He is 100% a British patriot in absolutely every regard and every way. Now, he, I'm afraid, is now unusual in the trade union movement. Some of you may remember that at the TUC conference in Bournemouth in 1988, Jacques Delors visited. And he said, you can't beat Thatcher through the ballot box in this country, but you can through the European Union. And the Labour trade union movement bought into that. And now I can tell you, there's nothing most trade union officials like more than their regular trips to Brussels. First class on the Eurostar, lots of champagne, the very best, I mean this, the very best of restaurants, and then if they're lucky, when they're finished with their union in England, they get a job working for the European Commission. The European Union have literally bought and paid for the British trade union movement, and for that reason, apart from Brother Bob, frankly, the trade unions themselves are not worth talking to. It makes me so angry, because actually, they're acting against the interests of their own members, for goodness sake, aren't they? Oversupply in the labour market, whether we talk about this decision over Bombardier in Derby, time and again the unions are not standing up for the interests of their members because their own personal interests are better served by Brussels. But that doesn't mean that we can't get the votes of trade union members and that we can't get old Labour votes. I said in my speech yesterday that I felt one of the worst things the Labour government had done, I mean it's a long list to choose from, you know, but one of the worst things they did was to betray working class people in this country through an open door immigration policy. And I think Paul